everything's changing so quickly. There's no way you could possibly know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
There's just there's the basics, and there's what you should be doing. But nobody knows, like, here's the magic bullet that's going to win the day.
This is the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast, a podcast about Middle Tennessee business owners and professionals. Mostly.
Yeah, so it's crazy to see how things are changing in the realm of AI and all that fun stuff that's been happening. I'm reluctant to use it, but I still use it. Is that what you're finding as well?
Yeah. Like we did a training this morning, and we're all learning, right? We're all learning as we go. And I think I had one of my team members said, it's great. It's all hypothesis at this point, right?
But you got all these people that are coming out on social media, the most millionaires will be made in the next 5 years because they figured out AI. And if you buy my course, you can too. Has anybody really figured it out yet? Or?
I don't think anybody's figured it out. And the people who have figured it out have admitted that they haven't figured it out yet. I mean, there are steps that we're all
they're
taking.
Pretending like they know.
Yeah, you have to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, you got to put the veneer on.
But there are people that are more educated about it than I am.
Yeah.
So that's where I have to dig in and figure out, where is this going?
And speaking of where are we going, yes, you are listening to the Mostly Middle Tennessee Business Podcast. I am Jim McCarthy, your host. I got to thank my good friend Matt Wilson for providing the voiceover on that intro. And we are powered by Christian Brothers Automotive of Spring Hill. This is the studios, I should say. And we are powered by Muletown Bikes in Columbia. They're on the square. Vinny down there can certainly help you out. Have you tried e-biking yet?
No.
Everybody who listens, they're going to get tired of me talking about e-bikes because I got an e-bike, and this is why we're talking about Muletown Bikes. For 2026, I'm going to lose a lot of weight. Completely convinced, even though I just had Whataburger. And the e-bike's going to come in handy for that.
Wait. The e-bike's going to help you lose weight?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know. You're already kind of scoffing at me, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying the whole point of that e-bike is to, like, when things get tough, you get to kick it in gear, right?
No, it gives you, it depends on the torque of the pedals. So you can kind of get your legs moving, but once you put a little torque, it depends on the level of input you want. You could adjust it all. So I keep it on an eco setting. When, you get starting to get up a hill, the reason being, and it sounds pathetic, I completely get it. On my old bike, I would get maybe, out of a half an hour, 45-minute ride, I might be able to do 3, 4, 5 miles. On this thing, in the same amount of time, I can get 15 miles.
So you feel like you've really...
I feel like you're still huffing and puffing. You're still getting a workout. And over the course of 45 minutes to an hour, you're getting a lot of distance in. And I think much more of a rigorous workout because I could set it so where it's assisting me all the time, but I don't. Yeah. So it's a decision, especially around here with all the hills and everything like that. Yeah. It makes it enjoyable. And at my age, that's all I care about.
Yeah. No, we've got kids in the back in a field. We share a big field with everybody. And instead of the dirt bikes, they all have these e-bikes.
They're all dirt bike e-bikes, right?
Yeah.
They look like dirt bikes.
But they're quiet.
Yeah.
And they're doing jumps and everything back there. And I'm like, good for you guys being outside. Thank you. Get outside.
It's like, I don't mind. I call them e-biker gangs.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And we got them going around our neighborhood and everything. And it's funny, every time they will literally congregate in different areas on my route. And every time I ride next, I'm always listening to something.
Do they bully you?
I think if I were to stop, they would be like, hey, let's race for pinks or whatever. But I hear some of them like shouting, but it's like strength in number, like a gang.
Yeah.
I just ignore them.
Yeah. And if they start join? You want to join, old man?
Maybe they're saying nice bike. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably maybe a little jealous. I bet you have
I don't know. It's an Aventon.
I don't know that much. I just know that
it's a good brand.
I'm appreciative of that.
Mine's an Aventon Adventure 3. And if you go to their website, you'll be able to see it there. And of course, if you go to Muletown Bikes, talk to Vinny.
They'll point you in the best direction.
He will point you in the right direction. And they've also got a ton of other bikes down there. All real, you go to a bike shop like that, like every bike's going to be over $1,000.
Yeah.
You know? But they're decent bikes.
Just prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself.
Be committed to losing the weight this year.
I gotta.
Well, you got it. You spent the money.
I know.
I like it.
So you are with USA Today Co.
Yes.
You guys are going through a big old rebrand.
Yeah. We're navigating that again.
Yeah.
But
my guest is Jarod Goenner. I don't know if I introduced you yet.
Oh no. Hi everybody. We're going through another rebrand. This is kind of a brand back to the old brand.
Right.
And what we're really known for. I think our most powerful brand is USA Today. So I like
it's definitely recognizable. It's iconic.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you always see it like every airport's got a USA Today in, whether it's Hudson's or one of the, the stores that they overcharge for
Hudson
everything.
News.
Hudson News. So, I mean, it's, an iconic paper that goes back before I was born.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's, and then part of that is that we own, 160 other local news organizations throughout the country too. So,
what are some of the other bigger ones that you own?
The Detroit Free Press here in Middle Tennessee. We have the Tennessean, and we have the Knoxville News Sentinel out in Knoxville, and the Memphis Commercial Appeal, which I believe is 170 years old this year.
Oh wow!
Phoenix. We have a lot of local storied news sites that kind of are under this umbrella of USA Today. So,
right.
Still very important to free press and First Amendment. It's one of the things that I love about my job.
And it's so funny. I sat down with you 3-4 months ago. We had a 1-to-1 because you are a fellow BNI member.
Yes.
And come to find out, it's, in a 1-to-1, when you sit down to somebody, first of all, for those of you listening in BNI, it's 1-to-1, not 1-on-1. That makes my skin crawl. And I had a 1-on-1 with, especially it's like a man and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had a 1-on-1. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds so bad. 1-to-1. And so you and I had a 1-to-1.
Which any non-BNIers, you mentioned that too, and they're like, what's a 1-to-1?
Yeah, 1-to-1 is where, in BNI you have a big group chapter that we all give our commercials every week. Typically for us, it's Wednesday morning at the Elks Lodge. And, that's our billboard, so to speak, for everybody to kind of have their radars up for each other. And, the idea is to pass referrals to the members. The 1-to-1s are for getting to know the members a lot deeper. So while my tip of the spear in business might be podcasting, and that's the seat I exclusively have, I can fill you in on, we also do voiceover, video production, so on and so forth, short form media content creation. And that's the kind of thing I typically may not bring up in my 30 seconds. So in a 1-to-1, you can go deeper. And in ours, I found out you and I were a part of, you were once part of my industry with Studio Center.
Yeah.
Which was, cool. Because I'd love to be a Studio Center talent.
Yeah, I think you'd fit in great there. I really loved that organization. Loved the CEO is a great guy for me and a great mentor in that early stages. That'd be great.
How did you get started with all the things that you're doing in terms of, because I believe you kind of were similar to me, where the industry was when you got into it. What were they doing? I
got into this industry right out of the Navy. My wife was.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. My wife, while I was out to sea, she got a job with the local newspaper selling classified ads. And it was huge back then. It was the heyday of the newspaper. And I got out and I was going to run nuclear reactors. That seemed very boring to me, and it was on shift work, and I wanted to have a family, and I didn't quite want to do that. My wife was like, interview with the newspaper. You could be in sales.
Dude, talk about an icebreaker. What do you do? Oh, I'm a carpenter. Oh, what do you do? I run nuclear reactors.
Which is what I did in the Navy. Dude, I did that.
It's a mic drop moment.
It is, but it's really just kind of, it's a lot of, it's a lot of waiting.
Well, but hey, that's what you want.
You want that.
It to be exciting.
Unless you're like me and you don't want to sit around waiting for the rest of your life. The only time you get to shine and do what you really good at is when something bad happens, right? So no, who wants to do that?
You're the only guy in the world when, potentially disaster's about to strike. You're the one going, yeah, finally.
Yeah, I got this. Watch me, guys. What? Wait. Everybody.
Get your cameras out. Watch this.
I could shift the electricity of this whole ship in no time. Just watch it. No.
Watch me not melt us down.
At 2 a.m, because that's when, their junior operators are going to be.
Did you ever have anything like that happen when you were at the helm?
No, we had a couple of fires, and I was responsible for the electrical distribution of the Harry S. Truman. So aircraft carrier, 5,000 people, 2 nuclear reactors, shifting loads and, making sure everybody's getting the electricity that they need. It was pretty big for, a 24, 25-year-old to be doing that. It was interesting, but more exciting than it would be, I think, in civilian life.
I am Vinny Tavares. I'm the owner of Milltown Bikes, right in the heart of Columbia, Tennessee, on the square. And we're here to serve the community. We have bicycles from kids to adults, e-bikes, mountain bikes, road bikes. We run a repair shop. So I am the 3rd generation of this current bike shop. It's been here since the 70s. It's a historical building. It's an integral part of the downtown community in Columbia. We get customers here coming in and talking that they got their very first bike here. So the reception has been great. Everybody's been super friendly, super welcoming. A lot of the old customers that been coming here for generations now still come here. They're now my customers, and I have a huge responsibility to continue to carry that legacy and that passion forward.
Hi, I'm Jason Miller. I'm the owner of Christian Brothers Automotive here in Spring Hill, Tennessee. We fix cars here, both European and domestic, from simple oil changes to complete engine rebuilds and replacements. Most important thing, though, is while you're waiting, we've got the best snack game in town, and we invite you to make yourself at home and get to know us, and we treat you like family. We're located right across the street from Walmart on Highway 31 right here in Spring Hill. Let us know that you heard about us on this ad, and we'll give you 10% off your next oil change. So stop on in and see us in downtown Spring Hill. Do we even have a downtown in Spring Hill?
So, the reactors on a ship that big are boiling water, creating steam, generating generators.
Yeah, you got it.
And essentially, is it an electric motor that's turning the prop?
So it's all steam driven, right?
Really?
So just there's you've got steam driving the props, steam launching the planes off the deck.
Yeah.
And then you've got steam turning the electrical generators, right?
Yeah, so to provide electricity.
Provide electricity.
I figured that would be like a train, like a not a freighter, but a locomotive.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they run, because they're basically, the diesel is to turn generators and the wheels are electric.
Yeah, and we have diesel backups on there and everything like that. It was.
I had no idea that there was the props turned by steam, though.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I thought it was electric motors.
Yeah, but no steam. But even there, I didn't see daylight. I was in the bottom of the ship making steam, or
was like literally the floor you were sitting on, like just on the other side of the steel was water.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Tons of steam, tons of water. We all prepared for the worst, right?
Yeah.
If there is a, any type of breakage or anything like that. Of course, that train for everything. And hopefully nothing happens.
Well, the ship like that can go for a decade without refueling, 10 years.
Yeah. I don't know I forget the exact, thank God. I've been working really hard for the last 20 something years to forget everything.
Well, this is fascinating, man. The basics of it. We're breaking the ice here.
I think that's true. I've got 2 kids in college now, and one of them is just heavy into engineering, and, be able to have an overall discussion. I can't give him everything, because there's a lot of
classified.
Classified information. But, just the basics of it is so fascinating.
Well, just even like if one of those ships were to sink, God forbid,
Mm-hmm.
an attack gets through, are there worst case scenario, like that shuts the reactor down, seals it in cement forever.
Oh yeah. Not seals it in cement
or whatever,
forever, but there are so many, multi. What do we call them?
Redundancies.
Yeah, there you go. There's so many redundancies that they just. It's almost like nothing bad could really happen.
Right, because do they carry fuel on? I guess they got to be feeding it. I mean, is that how
it's just
uranium
there, right?
rods?
There's a reactor.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reactor and it's there. It's more when you look at civilian plants, there's only a certain percentage that they're allowed to have.
Right.
Military reactors are different, right? They can pile that fuel up as much as they want to the point where it'll last a long time. They don't really need to refuel for a long time. They're pretty efficient. It'd be kind of frustrating going into the civilian world and being like, oh, you can only have this percentage of nuclear fuel.
Got to keep on putting uranium rods into the water and all that stuff. And, I'm
like, what do I talk?
I just think it's fascinating because, you're sitting there running basically, monitoring the fuel and the core power of the actual ship. And meanwhile, it had to be stuff running through your mind. Like, am I being, I'm pretty sure they take all the precautions and everything. I'm sure I'm okay. But there's that one little off chance that, is there a little bit of radiation leaking? Is it hitting me square between the eyes? Does that ever cross your mind when you were doing it?
Yeah, I think there's like a certain percentage of nukes, and that's what we call ourselves, nukes, that they 90% only have girls.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah. So I had boys, so I don't know that happened. But
so you're good.
Yeah, I think I escaped. But we had our dosimeters were read on a regular basis and making sure that we got only so much radiation. When we were in the shipyard, we'd be inside the reactor, area.
Dude, and you're sitting there thinking this is mundane. This is really
by the time the military beats it into you, it's probably like anything else. It's probably like being a SEAL and being like, oh, that was easy capturing Mandami. Same with us. They're like, oh, it's just nuclear reactors.
I think it's a cool story, mic drop story. I ran nuclear reactors. Really? And your son, he's got fascinating things going on. You told me that he's into concrete management.
Yeah, I got one at MTSU. He goes back.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
I didn't realize it was a thing either. I think I was in the Titans suite with their head of marketing, and it's like, yeah, I've got one of my two older ones just doesn't know exactly what he wants to do yet. And he said, that marketing director said, does he want to make money? And I was like, well, I think ultimately that's the goal.
Yeah.
And he said, how is he math and science wise? And I was like, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He doesn't know if he wants to be a veterinarian or what he wants to do. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, we should show him our concrete management course. And
this is the head of marketing for the Titans?
For MTSU.
MTSU, I got you.
MTSU. So I was like, I might take you up on that.
She sold it on you.
He totally sold me. And then, of course, I went there with my son to take a tour of this facility. All built out of concrete, obviously, but even the wood was concrete. You think, oh, that's wood. No, it's concrete. And all these companies had invested just tons of money into it. And by the end of the tour, I was like, I want to go back and take this program. It's an interesting program of, math, science, and chemistry. Yeah, all the stuff that you wouldn't think is in kind of that concrete management. Like concrete, how exciting could that be? I got excited.
And he's finished with that?
No, he just started. He's in his second semester. So
is he enjoying it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's enjoying it.
It's like, who'd have thought, man? It's like, why are they not talking about this?
Right.
That's almost like a trade.
Yeah. And I feel like it is, right? They have 100% job placement there because it's all kind of
new,
set up by these companies.
I would imagine semi AI proof, maybe.
Yeah. As we look at those, right? What is AI proof anymore? So, but I think what's interesting about that and the rest of it is, it's not so much AI proof, but it's how are we going to utilize AI in that industry? Hopefully, hopefully throughout this, because he's got 3.5 years of it left, hopefully he figures out how to inject AI into it. And I think that's what we're all doing. So.
Did you use that word inject on purpose? Because that's what they do with concrete.
The concrete. I don't know. I'm trying to, I'm still kind of jealous that he gets to go back to school. Are you like that?
No, not in any sense of the word. I am not. My kid, my oldest daughter is going to UTC and has finally just recently just do communications.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keep it easy, get the friggin' piece of paper, be done with it and get to work. You know, that's been my purview or my viewpoint of college for probably the last 20 years. You know, I tell my kids, just because you don't go doesn't mean you're going to be a failure. Like I was told. I
was told the same thing.
Yeah, because that's what they told us.
Yeah. And I went for 2 years and at engineering. I went in engineering and chemical engineering, and I was like, oh, I'm good at math and science. I need to get a degree and figure out engineering because that's what is,
Yeah.
And 2 years later, I was like, I'm undeclared.
Right. You have no idea that, you have no idea who you are at age 20.
Right.
No.
Right. So the military helped me figure out what I didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just hoping I'm a better, I've helped my kids kind of they can be successful at a lot of different things without, the pressure of just having to do something. So, just took me a while. So getting out of the Navy, you went did you go directly into Studio Center or? No, I took my wife's advice and I applied at the newspaper.
Right.
And the newspaper, it was the Virginian Pilot, and they had a whole division. This was in 2007. They had a whole division that 36 people that were just dedicated to digital marketing. And that was huge. That's huge right now.
Yeah.
And they were building out how they were going to conquer digital marketing and kind of the digital space that was developing. Totally separate from the paper itself. So I got to join that team.
Well, the papers were smart about it. It seemed like they kind of, papers being like the predecessor to television and radio, got eclipsed by television and radio when television and radio came into their heyday. Television and radio didn't really pivot into digital like they should have. But the newspaper seemed like they were at the forefront of it.
Well, we had to. I
guess it's history. They learned from the pattern of history.
Yeah, I always look at it. I'm like, it's, even coming over here, when I moved to Nashville, I had a television station that I'd interviewed with here and the newspaper here. The newspaper, the Tennessean at the time, were going through a big change in 2015, right? Acquiring several other papers, consolidating, adapting, but making shifts, right? And growing. And realized that, the companies that are growing and adapting are the ones that are going to be around. If you didn't make that change or you're not driving to that change, then you're just not going to be here. Like with everything else.
Sorry,
you're
texts. The newspaper's kind of getting into it because you worked. Was it directly for USA Today or just
no?
Where your wife was?
So I worked for the Virginian Pilot. It was independent, and they had probably 6 newspapers throughout the country, but the Virginian Pilot was the largest one.
Right.
And it was owned independently. And they had developed. They were aiming for that digital space. So joined that. I got to. I worked for I sold this thing called Deal Spotter, which was this directory of deals that you were making. And I found in talking to people I was selling to, right? I went door to door, knocking in the community, talking about digital. The value of that directory that we were developing wasn't that people were coming to dealspotter.com and engaging there. It was that they were finding us on the search engines, which Yahoo is still kind of a larger player then, but Google had really been emerging. And so we were just dominating the Google search. And from there, we went ahead and I was like, hey, that's the real benefit of this product I'm selling. I'm not selling this product for this. I'm selling this product to capture search.
Right.
So, and in 08, 09, we had that big downturn, which really kind of devastated all media, but not digital. I got to adapt and then actually coach all the traditional newspaper reps on how to change their way of thinking and come into a digital marketing space as best I could at the time.
We tried to because we were at that time I was working for South Central. I can't believe I forgot their name. I almost said Southwest. South Central Communications, who owned our radio stations in Nashville, Mix 92.9 and Jack FM. And because they were independently owned, family-owned company, they could pivot and maneuver themselves a lot faster than the behemoths.
Yeah.
And one of the things they did, they started a digital arm, South Central Digital, and South Central Media. And they basically, that was, hey, do you want fries with that? We'll make you a landing page that your radio ad will point to.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can actually track the effectiveness of your ad and what we're doing for you because it's all in our ecosystem. And, it didn't really get off the ground. I mean, it was a good idea in theory. I don't know what happened internally, but just didn't take,
Yeah. And I was, I think similar, right? We were independent. We could move very quickly. And then I got a kind of a reputation of being an outspoken, I don't know if I was considered a jerk or just somebody who is kind of instigating like the push, right? We need to do this. This is important to me. This is important to my clients. This is where we need to go if we're going to be successful. If I'm going to be successful, if my clients are going to be successful, this is what we really need to be doing. And they gave me a lot of freedom to do that, surprisingly. But my wife still worked for the same company, so she'd I remember early on she'd hear, how are you married to him? What is just because I was so young and so impetuous, it was like this is the way it's got to be going, even at the newspaper. So I feel like that helped me early on kind of figure out that I really was client centered. And then that was what was important to me, not my reputation at work or anything. It was fighting for my clients the whole time.
Did you find, because they wanted you to kind of adapt with the technology that was coming down the pike, there's the client and then there's the audience. Was that what do you think that what was the audience wanted? Is that how they wanted to find things?
Yeah. I think newspapers are interesting, right? Because there's such a distinction between journalism and advertising, right? So we had to keep the audience. The audience was always going to be what it was. So I get to focus solely on the clients and their advertising needs and their marketing needs. And I tended to stay towards their marketing needs.
That's the thing with social media is that you can kind of see what's going to gel and jive with the audience. All my podcast clients, how can I get from A to B as quickly as possible? I'm like, well, talk about compelling content and identify an audience to talk about it to, and hopefully tickle their ears, because they're looking for value, probably valuetainment, edutainment as well. And just kind of go in that direction. And they'll let you know. If it's good stuff, you'll see it in the comments section.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the people that talk about, getting engagement on social media, especially, so-called gurus that'll you should just buy my course and I could show you how to do it, or buy our system that'll, how you want comments to be loaded up on every post, we can make that happen for you. That's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't want to do it organically, because you can tell if you're just a scroller, if you're a lurker, you can tell if, well, let me put it this way. I know several people here locally that are trying to put themselves out as experts in that field. Well, this is what you got to do. And at our company, this is how we do it. But their stuff itself, you could tell is like bots in the comments.
Yeah.
Or it'll be shared 500 times, or not even shared. It'll be hearted. and it's always the same amount of like it's like always like 545 and nothing in the comments, no shares. And it's like, well, look how many people, dude, that's a hack. There's something up, you know, and everybody who looks at it can tell.
Yeah.
And you're trying to freaking pull the wool over somebody's eyes. Well, you talk about an old saying, huh?
Well, you talked about it in one of the podcasts you just did not too long ago, was that authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And authenticity, even in the world of AI, as we're navigating that, right? Authenticity becomes more and more important in all marketing.
Which is funny for AI because it's artificial.
Right.
You know, I think honestly, and this is something I'm thinking about designing, I want to come up with a stamp like a seal that says certified human.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a thing.
But we're going to get into that gray area where what constitutes that anymore? You know, is it? And we talked to my team today, and I was talking about, hey, your first draft, have it AI. Your last draft cannot be AI, but have those ideas spelled out through ChatGPT or Copilot and get those down on paper, but take a hard look at it, and you've got to make it your own from there. But it's a great way to brainstorm, bring it to the front, but you've still got to put your stamp on it to steal your word.
It's you're not wrong. My business partner is on the verge at the time of this recording. We're probably about a week or two from his publishing his book.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know, nothing AI hasn't seen it. He literally came off the tips of his fingers. And I said, you may want to maybe put something in there that validates and stakes that claim that it is certified human. Because he was talking about maybe running it through ChatGPT to say, hey, is there anything in here that reeks of it being AI generated or written? And I said, well, it's interesting that you're going to put it into an AI engine to tell you that. You know, I get what you're doing, but it's just weird, you know? And I said, it's not going to add to it. He doesn't want that at all.
Right.
He just wants to filter it through and say, hey, does it sound like it?
Or is my grammar correct? Or
stuff like that as well. And he's always very well written. He's already run it through about 15 people, that have myself included. And we're going to do an audio book at some point. But he made a good point. He's like, I just want to make sure it doesn't sound like it's AI, that it's been conjured up by AI. Because you see a lot of kids that go to school. His daughter, most of her life, actually all of her life, was homeschooled. Mm-hmm. So she just recently, I guess, she's going like once a week to a place where it's a little bit more developed for her high school years kind of thing. And she's been accused of writing papers that are AI generated. And the mother is like, no, I was right there with her. She wrote it. You know, well, it reeks of AI. She shouldn't be able to. She's like, no, she's just a really good writer. And, you know, we've taught her well. And none of this was AI. I guarantee it. If you need the mother stamp of approval, you got it.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny because I don't think things have changed, right? It's just a little different. I think in high school, I used archetype in a paper and they're like, you cheated. How do you know that word? And I'm like, really? Really? You guys, I had to write a paper over again just to prove and dumb it down from using just a word that I guess, I don't know.
Because you used the word archetype?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
It was like junior, senior year of high
school. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, it was weird for me.
That's someone doing their job for the sake of them doing their job.
Yeah, I was petrified as a junior, senior in high school. It's like, what do you mean?
What would you want to tell that person today?
I'd be like, hey,
F off, man. Remember me?
That really sucked for me.
Yeah. Why'd you do that to me, you dumbass? So moving forward with everything, I mean, because, USA Today it's interesting that it's USA Today Co. because you still have the USA Today moniker that conjures images of old.
Yeah.
Is it the same logo and everything?
Well, they have their elements of it, right? It's similar font, and then they use the little circle as the dot there that I think comes with the brand. I think they really did a good job of bringing back the brand. And we've just become such a large company. And we were bought by, we were purchased, Gannett, what I worked for, was purchased by Gatehouse Media. And we were purchased because of our digital companies that we had already purchased. And they were struggling to kind of keep up. Like they were a set of papers throughout the country, and they needed help getting into the digital space. They were behind. So they just bought us, which I thought was interesting that we were able to be bought, but glad we did. The scale that they needed to do in order to kind of pivot is great. And that was one of the things when I was looking for my next step was which company has the scale to move through this media world, and who's actually advancing instead of just watching people. So.
Now you'd mentioned like the search engine optimization business is, about to careen into a mountain.
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm trying to remember the last time I actually used search to find a local. If anything, I used, Facebook recommendations, local groups, that kind of thing. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. In
fact, that's how, I get a lot of my referrals for BNI are just scouring, keeping my radar up for, certain keywords that I can, if I can get in there and DM the person and give somebody their number and say, hey, this is a great person to consider. Reach out to them. Here's their number. Oh, also, by the way, would you like for them to reach out? And if they say, yeah, I got their number and their contact information. I tee it up for you guys and pass it as a referral.
We're very lucky to have BNI, and I think that's one of those issues. It's we're lucky.
That's the funny thing is that it's the hand-to-hand combat model still works.
Oh, it does. And
face to face.
When you talk to people, you're like, I'm never going to beat that model.
Right.
Like if you've got BNI and a referral source that you recommend. Now there's a lot of time that goes in. I would say a lot of money that goes into that because of the time. And there's a lot of other benefits in having that wonderful group of people that you get to talk to every week and learn from. But a lot of people don't have that. So for the 97% of the country that doesn't have that, I think search has still been an aspect of that.
But it's diminishing from what you're saying, right?
It's changing. It's about to get flipped, right? Search has been driving since COVID, right? Yeah. The marketing got stupid during COVID, right? Everybody had this additional money that they wanted to spend on home services. They just wanted to spend money, right? And we can see that right now. But no more than the home services industry that could just throw money at search and have jobs. Now that changed last year. It started to shift where people didn't have as much money. So in the last 2 years, that search volume has gone down and the cost has gone up to get the same number of jobs that any service Joe started during COVID.
And a lot of the prognosticators for AI with ChatGPT or some of the other platforms are saying that, well, you got to figure out how to connect your business to that. Does your garage door sound like this? If it does, it's screaming for help. Call Incredible Doors, 931-348-DOOR. We're making garage doors in Murray and Williamson counties work better and sound better. We just make them incredible again. Go to IncredibleDoors.com or call 931-348-DOOR. Follow us on Facebook for specials on maintenance visits, keypads, and other items. 931-348-DOOR. IncredibleDoors.com. Is that the next wave?
I think that's the shift we're seeing, and it's coming quickly. It's not.
Is it going to be like what Google and Yahoo were early on, where hey, optimize your page to make sure that they're picking the spiders are picking up on your business to getting first page placement. Because that's the thing is that you could always, as a consumer, when you were searching, I would avoid all the paid ones. Because I knew it was biased. You were paid for that position. Let me look for I always automatically went to the organic.
Right. And there are some people that do. The beauty of the way search is that you didn't pay for that ad if somebody didn't interact with it. Right. So that was always the beauty of that. And there's still going to be an element. Paid search, I think, is a better best investment right now than SEO, the organic working of search. Because the measurement's got to be different now. It's got to be about the engagement, and it does shift from just strategic keywords and content generation and that to more of a brand build, back to kind of the radio and TV heydays and the newspaper heydays where you actually had to build a brand.
So you're basically marketing for ChatGPT to be listening.
ChatGPT is the largest one, yeah.
Right. Or AI in general.
Yeah. So you're, and who knows who's going to win that battle, right?
Well, it's wild, wild west right now.
It is. It's great.
It is, but it's at the same time, it's like we literally went through this 20 years ago.
Right.
Right. And it's like how just like, oh gosh, it's one more friggin' thing now to figure out.
And imagine it being that much faster now. So yeah, there was that reinvention. When the internet disrupted everything, and then mobile phones, created this need for mobile base, and now we've got this whole AI concept that is changing it quicker than I've ever seen anything quick.
Really?
And I've been in this industry for a little while.
So what is a business to do? How do they connect to AI? Trying to think of in Captain Marvel, on the planet where Captain Marvel came from, whose name, as much of a Marvel guy I am, the planet where they came from, there was an AI overlord that they all, kind of bowed down to. How do the businesses start appealing to whatever this AI overlord is that's emerging?
That's what everybody's trying to figure out.
But there's so many people out there that have figured it out.
Right. And I think there are best practices to get.
And I used air quotes, so for those of you not watching.
there's the air quote. I think best practices are there, right? We lost some of the best practices during right after COVID because it was easier to market. Now it's back to, it's a little more difficult to do marketing, to I'll air quote to do marketing, right? Yeah. It's back to that brand build, that basics that you need to really focus on who you are. And then it becomes, is it a brand or is it the person that impacts that brand?
Because you're talking about personal brands out there now too. That's a thing.
Personal brands, right? Yeah. Like, is Elon Musk bigger than Tesla? I think is a great example.
Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. Is Dave Ramsey bigger than Ramsey Solutions? Yeah.
Used to be Lampo.
Right. It's that personal brand, and AI is not, skirting that, right? It's not looking away from personal brand anymore. So how do you utilize personal brand to impact your overall brand, to impact your marketing? And even down to the smallest business, how does that work? We know personal brand because the BNI every week we get to see who's participating, who's an expert in their field.
I actually came up with the concept personal brand.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Tell me more.
I'm the only one who knows. But literally within my first couple of years of BNI, I was like, well, this is your corporate brands are secondary to your, and I remember describing it to somebody and it just fell out of my mouth. I said, being a student of marketing as I am, I know that like Ryan Reed does cameras.
Yeah.
ICU is like, oh yeah, that's the name of the company.
Right.
It's second, almost tertiary.
Yeah.
But Ryan Reed comes first, and his category is security cameras. So, and I was describing it to somebody years ago. I said, so it's separate. I said, their own personal brand is separate from their corporate brand. And I remember going, well, that's an interesting concept, personal brand. And of course, 5-6 years later, it was just ubiquitous.
Yeah.
And everywhere. So
way ahead because it,
that's a true story. I'm not trying to blow smoke
or
pat myself on the back. I just never really, I started trying to use it in my marketing. Like, hey, let's market your personal brand. And, first in the mind beats first in the marketplace. So other people beat me to it. So it is what it is.
That's one of the guesses, right? I think personal brand outshines your overall brand. You've seen it in practice. So does AI pick up on that?
I guess, if there's enough of the personal brand elements and traces and DNA out on the web, I guess it would have to. Is AI going to see VaynerMedia over Gary V?
Right.
I think Gary V is going to be prominent.
Gary V, right? And he's one of those out there. He's an AI evangelist and changing. He's heavy on the social AI side.
He's not even calling it social media anymore.
No.
It's calling it interest media.
Yeah. And then I love the terms he uses as community, right? Yeah. And that's something that we as marketers have stepped away from, where now it's those people who are cultivating that community are going to be the winners here.
Well, it's amazing to find out, that I hate to say it this way, but the hack, what are the stylings that someone have to put in their marketing to start appealing to the AI overlord? You know what I mean? And to your point, you said getting back to the basics of branding. Does that mean, the 22 immutable laws of marketing, 22 immutable laws of branding, that simplicity?
Yeah. But you also have to look at what format you're doing it in, right? Digest as the attention span has gone away, right? Those longer form videos that I think we talk about, like, we talked about video marketing, right? And you guys are great at that. But those longer form videos that you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, or a brand will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on creating, are going away. They're just more, they can be more successful with a short 30-second video.
It depends on what it is. It's because you do see some of those reels that are 2-3 minutes long. One of the guys I follow, his name is Josh Howerton. He used to be a pastor here. He comes to mind. And a lot of his content, he's exploded over the last 12 months. Good for him, even though he probably doesn't like me. And it's for good reason, if you're watching this. But he, a lot of his stuff are sermon-based and allows for a deeper dive. So you're appealing to a different kind of audience that has an interest in it. And, they don't care about 5, 10, 15-second sound bites.
Right.
I mean?
But
you got to expand on these topics in that amount of time. Joe Rogan even brought it up.
Oh yeah, well, and I think that's that format, right? It's you've got to figure out what format you're going after for your audience, just like you would any other marketing tactic. But instead of spending, it used to be that here's the formula, right? The formula is not necessarily, just like you said, it can be different for every single client, every single partner that you have. The formula's just changed. Now, what we do have the ability to do, like we were talking about earlier, is test those formats out, right? What's going to get the most engagement there? And social's a great way to do that, especially with video distribution and even creative wise now. And I think Gary Vee talks to that. He says, we can now measure brand engagement and we can measure creative on a much faster level. And we can create it faster utilizing AI and grade it faster using AI. And so I think that's interesting on his thoughts about it.
It's so funny because we're trying to figure it out, but nobody really knows what's happening.
No, and for my team this week, I pulled 5 different videos from 5 different personalities. Gary Vee was one of them, and I said, "Hey, all of these people have different thoughts on where we're going. I want you to kind of be inspired by this. Yeah. I want you to kind of have a little fear, but I also want you to see the opportunity in this. So, and start thinking about what that opportunity is."
There's the authenticity, and that's the other thing, is that I've been really big on business owners trying to get away from the inadequacy that's being portrayed on social media, interest media, if you will, by some of these gurus that are, if you're not doing it this way, you're going to lose. If you're not doing it that way, you're not going to win. If you're not doing it this way over here, the way I did it, then good luck. All these different things that are designed to, they're almost like bullying tactics. And also, and it's a way to kind of make a business owner, entrepreneur, professional, a guy who's in the mix just trying to keep air in the tank, feel inadequate. And there's a lot of that going on. And I think there's a really big bubble about to burst with, my business partner actually came up with a great term. He called it hype leadership. And, he calls them hype leaders. Like, they're talking about stuff that, they're trying to pretend that they know what they're talking about, be an subject expert in, but they're not. And it's so obvious. Maybe not obvious to the 20-year-olds, but the people who have been around the block, present company included, we just know our BS meters are finely attuned. And the thing about the teenagers in this world, theirs are going to be uberly attuned because they're growing up in a world that they have no idea what's true, what's real, what fact is, what's fake, what's not.
I can't imagine that. I guess we kind of ran into that, but now, and
I think, when people kind of talk about words like authenticity, empathy, big word being thrown around right now, it's right on schedule, according to my book back there. You have to look at these words and really remember where they came from. Vulnerability is another one. Got to be vulnerable. Doesn't mean that you got to conjure up some sort of a story that may or may not happen. You see it all over LinkedIn. There's a reason why there's a LinkedIn lunatics thread on Reddit, and it's hilarious. But these stories that, everybody in the comments should be saying, yeah, I'll take 100 for things that never happened, Alex.
Yeah, I'd say that a lot lately.
Right. Those things people pick up on, they know. They just know. And it's like, why are you guys, you're pissing on my leg and telling me it's raining. And I know you're doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and that's it right now. I think everything's changing so quickly. There's no way you could possibly know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
There's just there's the basics, and there's what you should be doing. But nobody knows, like, here's the magic bullet that's going to win the day.
It's luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. It's a lot of luck.
But I guess you can, to credit Tony Robbins, he's a huge fan of studying patterns. I can see the next generation being so cynical and not knowing what is true or not. That a lot of the stuff, if it just a tiny bit reeks of fake or postured or posed, I swear I have had people, I've seen posts from certain people that have huge followings on LinkedIn. I have no idea what it is that they do, but they're telling me how to do business and all the things that I'm missing. And every single post are probably AI generated essays. Speaking of short form content,
Yes.
Who's reading this crap? And a lot of, mostly good looking women in their 30s, 40s, maybe they've had some work done. Usually, they've always got them, their authentic pictures are amazingly perfectly posed. And, they just look amazing. One of them actually put up, she's like, sometimes I just like to go out to the park and read. And it's like professional photos of her, posing, and she's like, it's really just authentic. And she's using authentic in all of her posts and stuff like that. Dude, she's reading her own book. I'm like, come on, man.
Could have got AI.
What are you
to proofread
doing?
it.
Well, but that's, who's buying this crap? And most of it, like you look in the comments, it's all dudes. I love it. Love it. You look great. You're dropping bombs. Oh my gosh. You're you're all simps, man. You know what I mean? It's so bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting world we live in. And
it's like high school all over again.
But it'll change, right? This is the freshman year of high school still. And hopefully we get to senior year. It's a little more authentic.
But why do I always feel like I'm a part of the burnout crowd? That, just be real, man. Just come on, shoot straight. Level with me.
So funny because I was coming out of a show the other day. It was a Honky Tonk Tuesday night over at the East Side Bowl. And I came out and kids were playing hacky sack. I was like,
did you join them?
Oh, my wife's, dogging me. She's like, go ahead, jump in there. She's like, you want to.
Do you still play?
I don't know, but I sure could have embarrassed myself for a second.
I've tried to hacky a sack.
I just
occasionally, I haven't held an actual hacky sack in years.
No, and I was like, oh, there's too many beads in that hacky sack. They're not going to be able to stall it,
right?
Like an expert. I'm like, I'm so old.
I used to do that all the time in high school, man. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I miss that.
Our free periods. I've tried to go back and do it, but every time I try to skip the thing off my foot, it always goes wonky way out to, goes way far. I can't do it subtly and have finesse to it anymore.
She just wants to go see Dr. Collins. She's like,
So what kind of businesses need your help? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I think that's it, right? We don't know. There's no silver bullet. There's no magic thing that's going to happen. So what we tend to look for are those people who want to grow, but navigate that partnership. So what my team does is really focus on finding partners that we can work with to get there, right? Mm-hmm. So not just sell. We have some products that perform really well. But if we just do that one product, we tend to fail. Everybody's going to fail, right? Everybody's going to, if they hang their hat on one thing. So what we like to do, if any product that we do is data, right? And that's one thing that USA Today Co. has more than anybody else is data. So we can start with the data. That's our one product. But from there, it's really about mapping out the best opportunities. And that'll be 5 or 6 different tactics, right? In order to achieve the goals, whatever that goal is. So any business with a measurable goal, it sounds so large, but.
But I mean, are they home services, trades, prime businesses that seem to work well within your ecosystem?
Yeah, it's the measuring one. So home services is an easy one because it's measurable, right? We know how many phone calls they get in order to convert a sale, and we know we can leverage these different tactics to get there. Automotive is great because not only do we know how many, we know when that car is sold. They're very much. They have an inventory that they're going to sell, and we can see when that car goes off the lot. So very easy to keep track of that and keep track of the effectiveness that we're doing.
Well, getting into automotive, what is the biggest, like if you could wave a magic wand, get into a dealership, which is what you want to do. Mm-hmm. What is it that you would do? How far would you permeate into the organization?
Generally, we work with the GMs. And right now, one of the cool things that USA Today is doing is exactly trying to solve that AI question, right? There's all these marketplaces like Car Guru and Cars.com and all the True Car that these dealerships are spending money with. And we kept hearing again and again, like, well, I just keep spending more and more money, and they just keep asking me for more and more. So as a company, we try to listen to that and utilize what we have in order to kind of take that burden off them. So we actually try to create an alternative to the marketplace race, right? And what do we own? We own 160 local newspaper properties throughout the country. Mm-hmm. What does Car Guru not own? 160 local newspaper properties throughout the country. So we just launched the ability to leverage a lot of our expertise and our credibility as a news organization in trying to pass that down to some of our dealership partners and impact local AI generation. So
what is the what are some of the local dealership groups you're working with? Can you name them?
Well, we haven't launched that aspect here yet. So we launched in Detroit, and it's we just launched in Detroit last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. The week slipped by me. Detroit, Columbus, still working on getting a couple more dealerships on board here before we launch, because we still have to have a certain amount to make that work for everybody. So.
Yeah. Well, not only that, you got to have case studies.
Yeah. Well, we've got great case studies coming out of Detroit, but really we went in with, and I keep using Detroit because it's my favorite one that I've been looking at. But we went in with the aspect of this could work. This could be really good. We think it's going to work based on all our testing and what we've done, but it may not. Yeah. But I think we're 95% sure this is going to eventually save them a ton of money. And that's what we're focused on there.
We used to say in radio that, clients would want guarantees that their ad would work. And, you'd have some salespeople that would tell them whatever they would tell them. But whenever they asked me as the production guy, well, what can you guarantee? I said, well, I guarantee that we'll produce a spot. I guarantee that it'll run per the ad campaign you bought. And I guarantee you will get billed for it.
Yeah.
I don't know how well this is going to work. This is, we're throwing it against the wall. How, I know that as from the creative aspect of things, it always came down to the message. What is it that you're saying? Is it transactional? Is it relational? an HVAC company is much different than a car dealership. Car dealerships are heavily transactional, typically for, franchise dealerships and domestics. More of the Highline luxury, it's more relational because people in that, they're looking for those cars. They typically know what they want to get. But, the Honda, Toyotas, Chevys, Fords, they got to kind of fight out amongst themselves,
right?
Amongst that level. And a lot of them are very price centric, very transactional.
Right. What's important to them.
Right. So it always comes down to the messaging. I mean, a lot of it's platform. I've got a buddy who sells OTT and connected television. And I think that's, it's like, hey, I think that's the wild, wild west. Nobody's really dominating that. People are watching this stuff and it's like old school television. They're sitting through it because they have to.
They have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's,
even though they're going to the phones, but
Yeah. And for OTT CTV, right. It's how are you which audience are you targeting with that? Are you generally targeting? Are you down to the household level?
Are you familiar with the Wizard of Ads, Roy H. Williams?
Yes. Yeah.
His whole thing, because a lot of it was mass media that he sold, radio and such things of that nature, he didn't really believe in targeting. He liked to do a broad stroke, like a 12 gauge shotgun blast. Because, even though you're not getting into the ears of the people who directly need you, you might be getting into the ears of people who know those people. And I'm like, there's truth to that.
Well, there's over targeting too. And I think a lot of companies just fell victim to that. Too targeted, right? Yeah. So you got to hit those layers, right? And I think a lot of people lost that along the way. I think that's something that's going to come back bullishly. It's going to, people are going to realize, oh, I was over targeting and now this AI is not putting up with me.
One thing about marketing, there's certainly enough opinions. There's a lot of opinions.
Well, and that's the thing with my team. It's not, hey, we have a best guess. This is what's we know after data that we've compiled, nationally and locally, that this is the formula that we think is going to work for you. Based off of all that data. Now, the commitment from my team is going to be, hey, if you guys work with on this, we're going to make sure that we do right by you. And I think that's what people are looking for now. And I think as we go through that, go through the next several years, it's going to be, hey, there's nobody that's going to sell me the magic bean that's going to work, right? But I want to work with the people that, hey, if they make a mistake, they're going to take care of it. Yeah. They're going to have my best interest in line. And hopefully my team exudes that. Hey, we're going to take care of you as a partner, as a local business in the community. We're going to make sure that we keep up to date with how we can help you be better. And that's the only guarantee we can give as marketers is I'm going to do my best job for you. If I make a mistake, I'm going to make up for it. I'm going to continue to try and provide the best results for you based on what we've talked about. So any business that wants to do that, I want to talk to them.
Yeah. Well, how do people find and follow you, buddy?
Yeah. So LinkedIn, Jarod Goenner. I'm on Instagram is my, Jarod Goenner, Jarod Goenner. You can keep up with me more personally there. I have a strong connection with, I like craft cocktails and beer. I love Nashville.
Do you listen to our other podcast, The Yells and Tales?
I do.
We need to have you on, man, as a guest.
I was telling my wife, I don't know if I can handle that shoot. That you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
And I was explaining it to somebody this week. I was actually talking about you guys, and I was like, oh man, that's a long Sunday.
That's actually not. We start about 10 o'clock and wrap around 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
we do about 3. We can only do about 3 episodes.
Oh, here I am. I'm telling everybody you're going in with 12 different selections, and
you're overselling us.
It's just a crazy Sunday, right? And by the end, and I think I was trying to explain that. And I was like, oh, but I could never do this because, but I love good beer. I had a craft beer magazine in Virginia. So,
oh, nice. What is your favorite beer of the month? What's your latest flavor?
I am heavy right now because it's chilly out, and I'm like that. I've got a lot of dark beer in my fridge right now, so I'm drinking the Sierra Nevada Narwhal right now. I really like.
Yeah. I think we actually reviewed that.
Oh, I might have missed that one, but it's a tasty kind of stalwart beer.
We just actually did a whole bunch of non-alcoholic beers this last session because of dry January.
See, and this week I had people coming from all across the state, right? We had a big kind of annual planning meeting, and everybody was drinking those non-alcoholic beers, the Athletic Brewery. And I was like, oh man, do I even want to go down that road? So I'll have to watch them all. And,
we actually had, I can't remember who the brewer was, but it was called Hop Water.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it tasted like, if you weren't told that it was a non-alcoholic drink, I would just think it was like a spritzer. So it was refreshing, but the rest of the team hated it.
I gotta digest those.
I actually gave it the highest score. They all get I think Mercurio gave it like a negative score. I gave it like a 5. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's for what it is. It's not bad.
Yeah, not pretty refreshing. I want bold flavors mostly.
I've become so bougie with beer, dude. It's freaking nuts. I mean, I've become a huge fan of Marble Fox. They got some amazing selections. We've got, I don't know if you ever heard of Zool Brewing.
Well, they just bought Southern Grist down there. Southern Grist is my favorite.
Yeah, they were good. Have you tasted Zool or any of their stuff?
I've tasted them, but I need to give them a stronger look now.
Yeah.
It's a little bitter because Southern Grist is they're
Are they still going to produce their? I mean, I would imagine they would have to.
I don't know. It's but I'm like, man, I've got all this Southern Grist merch.
Yeah, yeah.
But really, no, I love their bold flavors. Right? I think Zool has that though. Is what I'm getting out of Knoxville.
Zool, yeah, they're out of Knoxville. I got introduced to them because in one of the episodes, Ben, one of our co-hosts, he brought a can of beer that was wrapped in aluminum foil, almost like a mystery beer.
Mm-hmm. And
it turned out, we poured it in, it had like a ruby red. It was a sour, ruby red look to it. We do the sniff test. I took a whiff of this thing, and in an instant, I was 6 years old again, sitting at my mother's kitchen table on a hot summer day, coming in for lunch just after playing in the front yard and the sprinkler or whatever on a freshly cut lawn. And, with a peanut butter jelly sandwich and a glass of milk. It's called Mixtape.
Yeah.
Dude, it is.
So I think that might be their flagship because that's the one I've seen over and over that I need to try. So,
well, being from Virginia, but you're more from Virginia Beach area, right?
Yeah, that Norfolk area.
Yeah.
But I mean, I went everywhere for beer.
Adroit Theory, does that ring a bell?
Adroit Theory, yeah. Yeah. Up in the DC area.
Yeah.
So I think Lee County up there. I got in when they first launched. Right?
Yeah.
And they actually shipped me bottles down to, I was so excited for them. And I've seen, the other thing I'm passionate about is music. So they had a lot of good music at their brewery. So
probably a lot of like Brazilian metal.
Close. Close.
Because like have all their can art.
It's
like,
very.
It's like Sepultura albums.
Right. But the brewery didn't feel like that at all.
No?
It was and
their social media game is spot on too. Yeah. I mean,
talk about a good brand they developed.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you like they're sitting there, it looks very rustic. Like they'll put a glass on a log, like a tree stump, like that you'd sit on around a campfire and pour they have really chocolatey stouts they're like milkshakes that are alcoholic pretty much.
Yeah. And
these giant growlers that you can buy, they're $40 each, but they're fan-freaking-tastic. So they just show the pour and it's like, oh my gosh, I want that.
Yeah.
But they're IPAs. Like we had one of the IPAs initially and we were kind of laughing about their can art. And I'm like, it looks like it should just chop your head off, It
looks like the band Ghost has produced a beer, right?
And then all of a sudden you drink it and you're like, this is the most frou-frou beer I think I've ever had. It's delicious. It is stunningly delicious.
They do their craft. They're masters of their craft. And that's, You got to respect that.
Dude, you got a guest on the podcast, man. When we have like an opening, we got to invite you on.
Yeah, I would love to. I hope I can keep up.
I should probably be talking about like the rest of the network of the itsyourshow.co podcast on my podcast.
You should.
If you guys like what you hear, you can listen to Try That in a Small Town, Circling the Drain, the Yales and Tales podcast, the 615 podcast. It's all there at itsyourshow.co. I'm the only one I don't even promote. Cobbler's shoes. So.
Yeah, that's tends to be the way we work.
Well, awesome, buddy. It's a Friday afternoon. Let's wrap things up, get our weekend underway. This has been an awesome conversation, man.
It's been great, man.
Long overdue.
Great. Yeah.
And thanks for having us out at the box a couple of months ago.
No, that was great.
We're happy to take you up on that anytime you want to give it to us. We had a blast. That's the only way to watch a game, man.
You know what? The people that are have a blast are the best ones to have in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I don't get the
really
people that hang back and, they're like watching it on TV. I'm like, dude, it's right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
Do you do that?
Sometimes I'll catch myself. Well, I'm like, the game's here. I'm watching it on TV.
Well, I think as the host, you want, your guests to kind of have the front row action and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
But man, it was a good experience. We had a lot of fun. Are you guys getting into the new stadium at all, or is it?
We're working on it.
All right.
We think we'll be there with a presence. We did some. We're just wrapping up all our reporting for the Titans, and we have some great numbers. So I think we'll be in there.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, like I said, we're always open if you need seats to fill.
Yeah, I'd love to have you.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, there you go. Thank you for joining me, Jarod. And of course, as always, mmtbp.com is the website to go to if you want to be on the show. We've just kind of revamped the application process. It's right there. Click on the link, fill it out. I'm pretty sure I got it dialed in, so Google will ping me when I get an inquiry. mmtbp.com. Share the show. If you got something out of it, please tell somebody about it. And hope you have a good weekend, buddy.
You too. I'll see you next week.
See you, buddy.